If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Jonathan Martinez back on the show. He returns to action February 8th, taking on Andre Ewell at UFC 247 in Houston, Texas. The Dragon is here. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. And you?
I'm doing great. Well, we just kind of spoke about this before we hit record. This thing came together pretty quickly. The card's in less than a month, and typically these pay-per-view events, they're filled up by now. But alas, here we are. You're going to fight in Houston in under a month's time. How did this all come together for you?
I wanted to find that card, honestly. You know, I told my manager I want to get on that card just because it's Houston. I stay in Texas. I stay in Lubbock, Texas. So my family and friends will go there and see me fight. So it came out pretty good.
Were you surprised to end up on this card with it being so close?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. But it is.
But we made it happen. So when you got the contract and you saw Houston on there, were you like, no way, like this is too close? Like, did you think like somebody fell out? Like, it's just sort of a strange thing. This doesn't happen that often. So it worked out in your favor anyways, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when I seen it, I was like, man, it's on, you know. So kind of got excited, you know, fighting in Houston.
So when was the last time you fought in Texas? You remember?
I don't remember. I think it's in 2015, I think.
So it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So you're in, how far is Lubbock from Houston?
About 8 hours, 8 hours and a half.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, because it's not like, I live in Massachusetts, and driving from one side of Massachusetts to the other takes like 3 hours. And driving from one side of Texas to the other takes like 8 to maybe even 10 hours. You're jumping on a plane more than likely, I would assume.
Yes, sir.
Do you expect a lot of family and friends to come out and make that trek?
Yes, hopefully. You know, should be good. Show some support. Because they always wanted me to fight in Texas, so they don't got an excuse now, you know, fighting in Texas.
So you get Andre Ewell. He's 2-2 in the UFC. He's got wins over Renan Barão. He beat Anderson Dos Santos. His last fight, he got finished by Chito Vera in Tampa. Andre is an exciting guy. He likes to scrap. I know you're no stranger to getting into exciting fights in your own right. How do you like this fight from a stylistic perspective?
It's pretty good, you know. It's a pretty good style. I mean, he has a pretty good style, you know. And yeah, I like it a lot.
Are you in Colorado right now?
Yes, sir.
When did you head out there?
3 weeks ago. I've been here for 3 weeks already.
Have you known about the fight for that long?
No. I just came down to get some training in. Yeah, I always come down if I don't have a fight, even I come down for 2 weeks and then go back to Texas.
So it worked out that you were already there, and then you get the news. You're like, oh, great. Now I don't have to go travel. I'm already here.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Now that the fight's official, who you've been working with over there? I know Factory X is just full of guys who are getting ready for fights pretty much on a regular basis, but, I mean, there's just so many good guys that are there. You got guys like Brandon Royval, you know, and Youssef, and guys like that are around your weight class that are quick and they're fast and they can do all sorts of crazy things. Who are some of the other guys and gals that are getting you ready for this fight?
Yeah, Brandon, Youssef, Chris. You know, there's other guys out there, and those are my main training partners. But yeah, those are pretty much.
Do you prefer having longer camps, or do you like having the shorter camps and less time to prepare? Because, you know, I talk to fighters who sometimes they get on these like 12, 13, 14-week training camps and they burn themselves out. They start to overthink things with these long camps. Do you like this better? Maybe you feel a little bit less pressure. You just focus on the fight and you don't really have to overthink anything.
It's honestly the same thing, you know, shorter. Because I'm always training, you know, I'm not fighting. I'm not just sitting around. I'm just always training busy, staying busy and stuff. So it's the same thing.
So you don't really typically focus on the opponent very much. It's more about what you're going to do, how to make yourself better. And then Mark and the rest of the coaching staff, they'll sort of put together some different things you can do to sort of prepare for the opponent. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. That's about right.
I'm not sure how much you engulf yourself into the fight game outside of the training and outside of actually being in the cage. But, is Andre a guy you've been watching in the UFC? Is he a guy that's been on your radar for a while?
I've seen him. I've seen a couple of his fights, but no, not really.
Not really a guy that you were really focused or honed in on at all?
Yeah.
So this will be your first pay-per-view event in the U.S. I think it's your second overall, and you get out a card with 2 world title fights. You get Jon Jones in the main event fighting Dominic Reyes. Does that part sort of get you fired up, sharing the card with big fights and big names like that?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Fighting the same card as them.
Are you a fan of any of those guys?
Jon Jones.
You're a Jon Jones fan? You've been watching Jon for a while?
Yeah.
You think Dominic Reyes can do it?
Oh man, that's kind of hard, man. Jon Jones is really good. So he figures everybody out first minute, but it should be fun.
It should be a good fight. And then you got Shevchenko and Caitlin Chukagian. We got you guys, kicking things off. Do you know when you're fighting on the card? Is this one kicking off the card?
I don't know. It says it, but hopefully not. I don't know.
Get you on ESPN. Let's get the Dragon on ESPN. Let's show the world.
Yeah. Hopefully. But I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Just go in there and fight.
How do you set the table for those 2 big title fights on February 8th? You're coming off a big knockout win. How do you top that moment in Sacramento? How does this thing all play out at UFC 247?
I don't like really saying much about it. Just go with the flow, honestly. Just see what happens.
Obviously, you're going out there to win. I get that. You want to win the fight. You're not going out there to lose. But as a martial artist, as a fighter who's trying to evolve and get better, what sorts of things are you hoping to accomplish in there outside of just getting the win?
Performing really good. Showing my skills. Everything that I learned, just show it that day.
So this is going to kick off 2020 for you. First fight of the year. What sorts of goals have you set for yourself throughout the year? We're not looking past February 8th. We're not looking past Andre at all. But in terms of what you want to do from now until the end of the year, where do you see yourself at the end of this year?
I want to climb the rankings. I want to be, hopefully this year, top 15 or top 10. That's my goal for this year.
I like it a lot. I'm excited to see you back in there on February 8th, taking on Andre Ewell, UFC 247. It's going to be a great fight to kick things off in Houston, Texas. Very excited. By the way, we got Conor versus Cowboy coming up on Saturday. That's a nice way to kick off the pay-per-view calendar year. Who do you like in that one?
I'm a Conor fan.
You're What about Conor makes you a fan?
He's a left-hander, and he's pretty good. He talks, and he pretty much shows it, I like his style. Yeah. And I think he wins this fight.
Do you feel like this is a typical Conor McGregor fight week build-up? Like, I feel like 2-3 years ago, every time Conor fights, it takes over the world. Like, everyone's talking about it. It's all about Conor. I feel like this one's a little more subdued. Like, I feel like there's a lot of excitement in the air. I feel like the hardcore fans are very intrigued, but I don't feel the same buzz. And I feel like a lot of people agree with me on that. Do you feel the same buzz as you've seen for Conor fights in the past? Do you feel this one's toned down a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like this one's toned down a little bit just because the way he's got in trouble a couple of years back and stuff like that. But he's going to show it, he's going to bring it back up and get that knockout.
I'm excited for this card. I'm excited to see how that plays out, and I'm excited to see you back in there on February 8th. Thank you for the time, Jonathan, especially so early in the morning where you're at. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, any shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
All right, follow me on Instagram, Martinez3 at Jonathan, and Facebook, Jonathan Dragon Martinez, my fan page.
All right, man. All the best to you for the rest of this camp, and all the best to you on February 8th in Houston.
All right, thank you.